everybody. Welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. It was 63 degrees in New York today. Absolutely beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky. I spent the whole thing inside in a series of dark, dirty rooms to have tonight's show prepared for you. Because you deserve it, America. And there's so much to talk about. Let's get right to tonight's big breaking story. This just in, there was an interview from February that aired 2 days ago. Everyone, and I can't believe I'm one of the every, is still talking about Oprah's exclusive sit-down with the Duke and Duchess of Netflix, Harry and Meghan, who accused members of the royal family of being racist. Tough charge. I'm sure that made their hackles rise. One of the signs of inbreeding is a risen hackle. Palace sources say the Windsors were blindsided because they thought at worst the interview would make them look out of touch. Because if there's one thing a palace surrounded by iron spikes looked like before, it was in touch. Now, remember not to make eye contact with the lady whose face is on the coins. For days, the royals were silent. But this afternoon, the palace issued this statement. Hear ye, hear ye. A statement from her, hold on. A statement from Her Majesty the Queen. But first, to allow me to forget I'm an American who does not give a damn. The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, oh yeah, recollections may vary, you better hope no one recollects any of this. May I recommend The Forgetting Wrench? I want to thank everyone from Looney Tunes for lending us this. The statement continues. They are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Oh, no doubt. I hear Prince Andrew has an island he goes to address his privates. It roils on. Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much-loved family members, which is nice. But then, in all caps, it says, ends. That sounds ominous. But to be fair, that's how they say goodnight in the royal family. I hope you've had a lovely day, darling. Ends! That actually hurts, by the way. After the interview hit the airwaves, fans of the royal family dumped a crumpet in their knickers. Especially TV organism Piers Morgan, seen here getting his tallywhacker whacked. Morgan defended a royal family member asking Harry about his baby's skin color by saying this.
Can I put to you just a scenario that may have happened? And I wonder whether you find this, you would automatically think this is offensive and racist. If you have two parents, one's white and one's black, as in Meghan's case, and she's pregnant and going to have a baby, is it racist and offensive for a family member to say, oh, what colour might the baby be?
Oh, I know the answer. You're a spotted dick. Piers also responded to Meghan Markle's very personal revelations about what she went through at Buckingham Palace.
Meghan has, within this interview, said it got so bad that she was suicidal.
I'm sorry, I don't believe a word she says, Meghan Markle.
Well,
Hello, suicide hotline, Piers speaking. Oh, really? I don't believe a word you're saying. Oh, you're on the bridge right now? Really? If you're so miserable, why don't you prove it? Hello? Hello? Another hang-up. Third liar of the week. As much as Piers loves to dish out the criticism, he sure can't take it.
I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not mine.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
Piers Morgan is such a baby, someone at Buckingham Palace just asked what color he's gonna be. Piers didn't just storm off the set in slow-motion twit snit. He stormed off the whole damn show because a few hours ago, his network announced Piers Morgan has decided now is the time to leave Good Morning Britain. Congratulations. Tomorrow's going to be a great morning, Britain. Back stateside. And we leave England. And we leave England. Back stateside, in the latest COVID news, there might be a day when I can stop saying in latest COVID news, because U.S. coronavirus cases have posted their slowest spread since the pandemic began. I haven't been this happy about a slow spread since that guy was peeing in my subway car. People are finally starting to see signs that life is trickling back. Thanks to new CDC guidelines, vaccinated grandparents can once again visit adult children and grandchildren. This means so much for seniors who've been isolated. Grandkids, it's time to put on a snorkel because the forecast calls for extended bosom hugs. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? We can go hug your parents again. Isn't that fantastic? You want to leave right now? Leave right now and go down there. The CDC also says that vaccinated adults may begin to plan mask-free dinners with vaccinated friends. Dinners with friends. That's fantastic. Although after a year in lockdown, I'm not sure if I want to make my friends see how I eat now. My mug of ranch dressing is running low. Am I supposed to eat my string cheese dry? These vaccines are changing seniors' lives. One New York woman told reporters that when she's allowed to be with her family, she intends to re-celebrate every missed holiday, starting with Hanukkah and working her way back through the calendar. Same here, but I'm going to do them all at once. Thanks, Father's Easter, Hanukkah Teens, Day of July. I'm going to eat a turkey stuffed with candy hearts and dreidels, and all the kids will run around the yard with their stockings looking for painted fireworks left by the Passover bunny. Our new lease on life is all thanks to improved vaccination rates. In fact, the rollout is going so well that in the next 2 months, the U.S. is expected to have 500 million doses, which is enough to fill a 55,000-gallon swimming pool, though I think it would be better to put it in the syringes. Otherwise, we're going to have to get inoculated Scrooge McDuck style. Oh, there's more good news. Experts are predicting that the economy could surge thanks to vaccine rollout and Biden's COVID stimulus plan, which will send millions of Americans $1,400 checks. I have a feeling a lot of MAGA folks are about to accept the election results. Joe's not putting his name on the checks like the last guy, but they are going to say, "Who's sleeping now, biatch?" The stimulus is desperately needed, so naturally, Senate Republicans voted unanimously against it. To be fair, they are busy fighting for other issues that Americans care deeply about, like ensuring that Mr. Potato Head keeps his beautiful penis. Even though 77% of Americans support the stimulus plan, the plan got slammed by Senate Minority Leader and Grandpa about to put a child's imaginary friend out of its misery, Mitch McConnell. When the bill passed, McConnell said this:
The Senate has never spent $2 trillion in a more haphazard way.
I don't know about that. McConnell is clearly forgetting when the New Deal bailed out Dust Bowl farmers via money booth. McConnell's also conveniently forgetting the Republican tax cut that added nearly $2 trillion to the federal debt. And that money overwhelmingly went to corporations and rich folks like Mark Zuckerberg, who I'm sure just blew it on luxuries like fancy haircuts and sunscreen. I think that was Zuckerberg. Was that Zuckerberg? Because that could have been a photo from the new hit CBS procedural, High Seas Mime Crime, Silent and Deadly. Now, by contrast, Biden's COVID relief plan, which again, not one damn Republican voted for, targets low-income earners so effectively that it will lift more than 13 million people from poverty this year and cut child poverty nearly in half. To which Piers Morgan asked, "What color might these children be?" Speaking of the president, yesterday he held an event honoring International Women's Day where he nominated 2 female generals to 4-star commands. It was so inspiring for all the little girls out there who dream of growing up and launching airstrikes on Syria. But the event wasn't without some of that classic Biden gaffe magic, because it sure seemed like he forgot the name of his own Secretary of Defense, General Lloyd Austin.
I want to thank the former general. I keep calling him general, but the guy who runs that outfit over there. I want to make sure we thank the secretary for all he's done.
I want to thank the guy with the job, old money, Johnny Money Guns over there with the boom boom and the pew pew. Does great work for the whole outfit with the uniforms and everything. I want to thank my Secretary of Trains and Planes, Little Mayor Toot Toot. Over in Education, Secretary Teach 'em Ups. Thanks, Teach. You're all fantastic. Come on, Jack. Is it Jack? Is it Secretary Jack McJack Jack? Of course, that was just a little slip up. The scandal actually blowing Washington, D.C. open today involves presidential dog Major Biden. Last week, the first dog reportedly was a bit aggressive, and as a result was sent back to Delaware. Now, before you worry, the dog is fine. He wasn't sent to a farm upstate in Delaware because Delaware doesn't have an upstate. It barely has a state. Apparently, the 3-year-old German Shepherd had a biting incident with a member of White House security. You can't blame Major. He was just following the president's example. Ruh-roh. I just want to point out that we're a month and a half into the Biden administration, and the first scandal is literally dog bites man. And Major isn't the first pet to misbehave in the White House. We all remember when Sonny Obama knocked over a kid, or when Barney Bush lied about WMDs in Iraq. We got a great show for you tonight. Riz Ahmed is here, but when we come back, meanwhile, join us.